We're back with another recipe from the 1997 NFL Cookbook. This time we're making the very first recipe in the book by Earnest Byner. We're making breakfast, grits with sausage and eggs. So recognizing that this book was written in 1997, and at the time Earnest Byner was a running back with the Baltimore Ravens. The bio reads, Earnest Byner is such a double threat as a runner and receiver that he currently is one of only 3 players on the NFL's active top 20 list for rushing yards and receptions. Originally drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 1984, he played in Cleveland for 5 seasons. Byner then played 5 seasons with Washington, only to rejoin the Browns in 1994 and make the move to Baltimore in 1996. So actually in 1997 is when he retired from professional football, so this would have been his last season in the league. And he did retire as a Baltimore Raven, even though he won Super Bowls with Washington. The Saturday morning breakfast tradition at the Byner household goes something like this. Ernest and his wife Tina get up early and repair to the kitchen to make the family's favorite grits and eggs recipe. Served with toast and orange juice, Ernest says. It's quite a filling breakfast. Then Ernest joins his 3 daughters, Samaria 13, Adriana Monique 11, and Brandy 5, to take in the feast of cartoons that Saturday morning television brings. I appreciate the time with them, he says. Full recipe at the end of the video. Ooh boy, everything about this was a fail. From the terrible packaging, I spent like 10 minutes cleaning up grits off of my floor, to the weird sausage wrapper. I couldn't tell you the last time I used sausage like this, where you have to get through that metal ring. I used the instructions for all the recipes for the microwave, which probably was on me. I should have done it on the stovetop. The grits had way too much liquid, so I had to double strain it. Everything else was sitting so long, I had to zap it back in the microwave, which is where it is right now. But let's get on to the Earnest Byner of it all. And this book actually reminded me that Earnest Byner was a Baltimore Raven. I, of course, remember his time fondly here in Washington, and I assumed actually that he had retired in Washington. That was actually interesting for me to learn. And the other thing about this recipe is I scaled it way back. It's just me eating this today, and the recipe calls for 6 to 8 little Byners. If you have a large family, this might work well for you. I used 2 eggs and maybe very little of the sausage, and I made some backup gravy because I thought it was gonna be a little bland, especially with the turkey sausage. When I was cooking it, you can see in the video how much water was actually coming out of it. I thought I was gonna have to strain that too, but it actually all evaporated. And even the backup gravy, but I got liquidy, lumpy gravy and then I added my 2 eggs to it, and it was fine from there. The other thing I did not do is top the cheese. I did top it later because I thought it needed a little bit more cheese, but when I was cooking the eggs, I actually added the cheese to the egg and sausage mixture as I was cooking it on the stove instead of adding it at the end. So I'm curious now, after all of this work, how it tastes. So let's get into it. After all that, I definitely need some caffeine. So it looks okay. I wouldn't say it's the prettiest thing I've ever seen. You know, grits are kind of bland looking. It's all very sort of monotone in color. The question is, though, how does it taste? And I couldn't tell you the last time I actually ate grits. The cheese definitely adds to it. I think if it was just the sausage and the eggs by itself and the grits, it would be a little bland. Let's try it again, and then I might actually add the gravy. Yeah, the turkey's not as spicy as I thought it would be. It doesn't really taste like country sausage, if I'm to be honest. It could be just a brand, but that's the only brand that was available in my grocery store. Let's go in with that gravy. So I didn't add that much gravy to it. I just really wanted to try it with. Right off the bat. It brings something that's actually missing. There's like a flavor profile to it that, I don't know, it's not completely bland, but the sausage, well, the country sausage gravy brings a little something extra to it. This is not made with sausage. If you wanted to use an actual homemade country gravy, that probably would be great as well. All right, I'm gonna give that a pass. I think it's a serviceable recipe. It's not my favorite of the ones that I've made so far. It's only 3 steps, and this actually might have been the one that took me the longest, just with all the cleanup and stuff in between. If you have youngsters running around, it's probably not gonna be a great one for you. You probably could make a huge platter of this the night before and then carve out individual portions the morning of. That might actually work better than trying to do this all at once, especially if you're getting ready for that 9 a.m. game in Europe. Anyway, guys, hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. If you did like it, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you subscribe for more content and other retro content on my channel. I do all kinds of videos here, and the food ones are just something that I'm having fun with. I am not a chef. I've said that in many of my videos before, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.